Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is BOXN1, your favorite podcast. I'm your host, Ralph Wright, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Elise Clyburn. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. What up, though?
I'm alive, so everything is up. Everything is
You,
up, up,
you know,
yeah,
I've,
up.
I've been watching a couple of shows, and one of the shows I've been watching, they've been saying, "What up, though?"
Oh yeah, they be hitting you with this. Ooh, woo. Well, you can't really say that, but
Nah,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Nah, nah, nah. I've been watching that BMF up there in Detroit.
Okay. Shout out to
Yeah, yeah,
50.
yeah.
Shout out to 50.
Shout out to
That
Fifth.
I'm gonna be I'm gonna be honest. That's a really good show. We're not here for that,
Yeah.
but that's a good show. We could talk conspiracy, but it's based on a true story. So,
Ah,
it's based, which means there's some parts that's fictitious. But that
but a
last
lot of
episode,
it,
that last episode was wild. That last
yeah,
episode was
yeah,
wild.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what we're here for? We're here to speak the game of
You're
basketball. Between the two of us, you got over 25 plus years of basketball knowledge flowing through our blood. Yeah, I said that right. Our blood. So
blood.
we speak the game of basketball in a completely different tone, on a completely different level. I mean, we a lot of times we go against the grain of what your favorite TV show is saying, because we see the game at a different light. We both coached, played, and we just sit there back and think the game. So we here today. Today though, we're gonna focus on some of the top tier teams in the league, some of the teams that we've had competing for the championship this year. We're gonna talk about the Nets. We're gonna talk about the Lakers. We're gonna talk about Philly. They're not having the ideal starts. So let's do this. Let's start on the East Coast. Let's
Okay.
let let's talk. Let's go to Brooklyn because as a youngster, I used to reside in Brooklyn. So we're gonna start in Brooklyn.
All right. Let's go with Brooklyn. Okay.
Now we know that they've lost several games that they should have won so far. Once again, it's a sample size. It's early. Are you panicking if you were them, or are you just taking the pace? What do you think?
I think you take the pace, right? So I think there's a couple factors as to why they're having a slow start. And I think Kyrie is the last factor in this, right? The first factor is who do they have on the bench coaching wise? D'Antoni's not with them on the bench this year, is he?
No, he's gone.
So we have an offensive mastermind who has experience, multiple team experience by having multiple all-stars, superstars on the same team and getting them to work together. That's gone.
Hmm.
You have a second year coach who now is in control of this team almost fully, right? So you have a Hall of Famer head coach who's no longer on the bench. I think that's one. Second thing is the rule changes. I mean, we're seeing James Harden all out of whack. He's not blaming his game on him not hitting shots, him not getting to the paint as often as he wants to. He's blaming on the refs. Like, what's the first thing as a coach you tell your players? Don't worry about the refs. Keep playing your game.
That's what I
This
say.
game is not up to the refs. That's
My
literally
job
what.
is my job is to talk to the refs. Your job is to play.
And you have your second best player right now
Hmm.
saying, "It's the refs, man. The refs are picking on me." You have your head coach saying, James Harden is being attacked unfairly with the rule changes. As a fan of the game, I love how the game is being called right now. It's not being stopped a lot. There's more ball play. But for a play like James Harden, it's really upsetting. And then I think thirdly, you are missing Kyrie. Like where you have your second best player getting hemmed up with he's all out of whack. He doesn't know the timing anymore. He has to change his mindset to the game because the rule changes have changed.
Hmm.
Kyrie would have been able to step in and got some scoring going.
Hmm.
But I think two out of those three will work itself out throughout the course of the season. I mean, you have KD still on this team,
Hmm. I
you
mean,
know, but that's just what I think.
I'm not panicking, nor should I don't think the Nets should panic. I mean, when you look at it, Aldridge is fairly new. You just got an off season with Blake. Patty Mills is still new.
Mm-hmm.
You bring in the rookie. You have the rookie Cam Thomas. Um, you're giving Claxton a little bit more. So just looking at that, I'm like, I'm not
He looks
panicking.
good.
He does, but so let's talk the Harden situation. The part that people have to understand is Harden didn't come back to full workouts until maybe a week or two before training camp.
And
So
why was
he's
that?
still out of shape because he had surgery. He didn't have surgery. He was recovering from that injury still, because I remember at some point, like less than 2 months ago, he wasn't able to go 110%.
Mm.
So we're about another 2 months away from Harden actually being in shape. The calls that he's not getting, I don't think it has to do with adjustment as much as it's, bro, you've been getting these calls for so long and you're not that guy anymore.
I think you're
Unfortunately,
correct on that as well.
you're not that guy. Like, he could go to the basket before and trick a ref, like, but these refs have been studying you.
Mm-hmm.
His bread and butter is the free throw line, so he's going to have to find a way to reinvent himself. Being out of shape doesn't hurt him. I mean, doesn't help him.
It doesn't help him.
It doesn't help him at all for getting those calls. Whereas before, when he was in shape, he's faster. So him being faster, that puts more pressure on the ref. Is this going to be a call or is this not? Because ref has split second. So believe it, like in basketball, every second counts when you have the ball. So for me, when it comes down to James Harden, it's his adjustment will come. The Nets team is one of those teams that I said earlier, hey, this is a team that can compete for the title without Kyrie, you know.
Oh, for sure. We both said that. We both said that they're going to be a top 3 team in the East with or without Curry.
But understanding that it's a marathon, I feel like the Nets aren't really stressing. What's more so my concern, just like you, is more coaching now. Like Steve Nash is really going to have to coach rotations. Harris looked good last night or the other night, but this was the first game I think he really looked good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sloppy turnovers. So because of that, like James Harden is really trying to set everybody up. He's forcing himself to score. When he gets in a point where he has to force himself to score, that's why he's not getting those calls either on the other end. That's hurting him. So, I mean, I don't really got much else to say about them. I'm not panicking with them.
I'm not panicking with them. Not at all. They'll figure out a way how to get it. I'm going to look at where they're 25th right now in scoring. Yeah. Slightly concerning, but they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. I think like what we both said is the biggest problem for them is going to be that coaching staff.
Mm-hmm. He's going to have to figure out minutes. He's going to have to figure out consistency, because you need some form of consistency for at least 3 to 4 weeks with your rotation for guys to buy in. So either guys aren't buying in or he's not fully sure of what he's going to do at certain positions, because honestly, some nights Paul Millsap can't play. You have Paul Millsap, you have Blake Griffin, you have LaMarcus Aldridge. Some nights LaMarcus Aldridge shouldn't play, and they should be okay with that. Some nights you got to move KD to the 5. I mean, to the high 4.
Yeah.
But imagine KD and Claxton together, and then you surround shooters around you. Play with Patty Mills, with Harden, and then Joe Harris. Like, you play that lineup and see what that lineup can do. You're going to give up a lot defensively, but Claxton has showed that he can play defense. He can protect the rim. So I'm willing to see that. And put pressure on James Harden as far as the feature, not as the setup guy. But
who's next, Ross?
Let's go to Philly.
All right, make a flip Philly on my
Let's go to Philly, because you know how we talk. We talk the drama division.
Oh, 100% it's the drama division. So when we talk about Philly, the biggest issue they're having, 2. Number 1, your best creator is not there. It's evident. And now that your best creator is not there, has the coaching staff adjusted? Nope.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Can I say something?
Of course.
What happens in the dark will eventually come to the light.
Okay, keep going.
Now, you, out of all people, know, and you've heard all my rants, you've heard all my conversations about how nobody is talking about Joel Embiid 16 turnovers in the last 2 games against the Atlanta Hawks.
Not at all.
Nobody's talking about the crucial turnover he had against Dino Gallinari, who wasn't double teamed. Dino Gallinari, not known for his defense, strips Joel Embiid. So I watched Joel Embiid last night. So this is where it does come down to coaching, because they were saying, "Oh, Joel looks frustrated. Joel looks frustrated because he has to create. He has that pressure that he has to create." Well, who created that problem? Was it Joel or was it Ben? Joel created that problem because Joel's mouth wants to be the center of attention. You know who else created that problem? Doc Rivers. These guys created that problem, and now we're starting to see what this team looks like. I told you this team could go to the playoffs, but this is one of the teams in the East I don't have as a championship contender, whether Ben Simmons plays or not.
Yeah.
You know, they have the vets, they have the bodies, they have the bench. I'm not one to call for somebody's job, but Doc Rivers needs to start doing a better job as a coach.
You know, they love him. I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
They love him for how long? This is Philly. Philly ain't going to give him 5 years like the Clippers did.
I think the best thing for Philly, well, for Doc, is Ben Simmons and his handling of everything. You know, I think that right there. Like, I'm not going to bring up Ben Simmons too much about this, but offensively, I mean, I like Maxey. I like it, right? You know, Steph Curry was shooting lights out one of those games, but we're seeing Joel just constant talk, trying to overdo things as a center who doesn't bring the ball up. Like, I don't understand how center can be such a black hole.
Because he's trying to prove that they can do it without Ben. And they won.
Like, it's not looking good.
What hurt them is that they won the opener the way that they did.
Yeah.
You know, that gives you a little bit of confidence. Remind you, after that opener, your boy Joel was talking real greasy. I don't care about that, reckless. Man. I don't care about that, man. Then
we're not babysitting.
Then you lose. Wait a minute.
Hold up.
He's our brother. You got to accept him. He's dealing with stuff. He's going to force y'all to see the truth. Like, this is what you created, you know? And I feel like at some point they got to hold themselves accountable for that.
Yeah.
Doc has to play Shake Milton. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it comes back down to coaching. I think there's a theme going on here. Even with the next team we're about to talk about, there's a theme.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot. I mean, my thing is, I have Philly at number 2 in the division.
They might be 3.
The way them Knicks are playing, yeah,
they might be 3.
You know, but still, Philly talent alone can beat the Celtics, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is that going to be enough to make the playoffs with the way these other teams are hitting?
I don't know, man. I don't know. A lot of these other teams in the East, they're gelling already this early on in the season. Maybe it's because it's the short turnaround. Maybe it's because a lot of these teams, they're not changing too much. You know, you're not having complete roster changes.
Mm-hmm.
But the missing of your best playmaker and your coaching staff, it's showing very early. So if I'm the unlike the Nets, if I'm the 76ers, I'm a little nervous.
I mean, you already got Ben Simmons in the stable, though. Are you nervous because it's on his time, or are you now like at what point do you try to force him to come?
I don't know. I'm not even there with Ben Simmons. I'm talking about like if the same question you asked me, if you're Brooklyn, are you nervous about what's going on the start of the season, or are you chilling? With this team, I'm nervous.
All right, but I'm saying in that nervousness, what do you do? If you're management, what do you do in that nervousness right now? Looking at the total makeup, not just of your division, but of the conference and your aspirations of being a champion.
You have to try to bring that dude Ben back.
How do you look at the Hawks? How do you look at the Knicks? How do you look at the Bulls and think that even having Ben is going to be enough? It's gonna fix the problem that you have, because the problem is not Ben.
It's a good question. That's a very good question. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
We're gonna have to revisit that someday.
Yeah, I don't have an answer.
Right now, let's going back to Kelly. The greatest organization known to mankind, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, there's no arguments there on that one.
That's where that's where the real magic is.
So why are we talking about them, Ralph?
We're talking about them because just like the other two teams, the one thing that they have in common is that they're having a slow start. Once again, as a Laker fan, I will not share my opinion at this moment. I mean, I will eventually, but I will let you share yours.
So how about this?
Are you going to interview me?
Well, I will. I'm asking you a question. So, okay. So they're having a slow start. And a division that, would you say that this division's super stacked?
Yeah, we talked about it. They could get all their team, every single one of their teams in this division could find their way into the playoffs. Then there's only 9 spots. I mean 8 spots. This
division's stacked, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's safe to say that they need to win every single game they're supposed to win.
Yes, right? but division games count more.
Division games do count more, but they need to win every single game. That's far, right?
Yeah, especially in the West.
Now,
they've already lost to Phoenix.
Let me look at their schedule, right? They lost to Brooklyn.
Yep, they lost to Phoenix.
Well, those are all preseason games.
Yeah.
So they lost to the Golden State Warriors, which
preseason
at the time. Well, no.
Oh, to start the season. Of the year. So we lost them back to back. So we lost to Golden State and then we lost to Phoenix.
They beat Memphis by 3 points. Okay. They beat San Antonio Spurs by 4 points. They lost to OKC. What is that? 8 points.
After blowing 27-point lead, yes.
So now, if I'm looking at this, I looked at the stats. They're the fourth. They're fourth in total points scored. So they're doing exactly what we thought they would do. This team is going to be able to put points on the board.
Yes.
Can they play defense?
That's a great question. Can they play defense? Yes.
Can they? Because
here's
in these games,
here's the problem.
They've only held their opponents under 100. In all these games, they haven't held that one team under 100 points.
Yes. So here's their problem. Their perimeter defense is sus right now. Their
Why
perimeter,
is that?
they're getting sliced like Swiss cheese right now.
But why is that? Who are they starting?
With or without LeBron?
Without LeBron. Who are they starting?
Did they start Monk? No, they didn't start Monk last night. They started Westbrook. Bazemore started. AD started.
I'll go to the box score. Go.
DeAndre Jordan started.
And Monk.
They started Monk last night?
They started Monk. He played 32 minutes. So I have multiple things, right? They went as far as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on the bench.
Yeah, they played 10 players last night.
They played 10 players.
They were up 27 points at one point.
When I say they played 10 players, they played 10 players.
Yeah, they had like about 4 times on the court they caught alley-oops in a row.
Yep.
So, but once again, we just talked about Josh Giddey. His ability to get into the paint and make passes. The problem with Oklahoma in the first half is they weren't hitting any shots. They were good shots. They just weren't hitting them. The thing with the Lakers was getting into the paint at will. One thing I liked is the Lakers were all cylinders in the first half because they were moving the ball. The ball was touching 2, maybe 3 to 4 players' hands in the offensive sequence. The thing is, I don't like Kent Bazemore.
No one does. That's why he's been on so many teams.
Nah, usually when you're on so many teams, it's because they see something good in you. But my thing is, and I spoke about it before, he's that guy that was the odd man out in Golden State last year when Golden State started going on their run.
He was the odd man out and with the Hawks when he was in Atlanta.
Yes. So he's going to. My thing is this: he's not going to be a main rotation guy when it's all said and done. Right? He's there now. Trevor's out. THT is out. Wayne Ellington is out. Right? Reeves is doing a really, really, really good job. He's doing far more than anybody expected. Once again, that just tells you how deep the draft is, that he can go undrafted and still, put up
To make
numbers.
minutes on his team.
Yeah. Injuries or not, I think this is a kid that should be a rotation player because I like
But
him.
why are they having a slow start, bro?
A lot of their turnovers is because they need to adjust to themselves.
So now when you say turnovers, right? Let's talk about just yesterday's game. How many turnovers do you think this team had?
Had to be over 20 because they had about 8 or 10 in the first half.
So they finished the game with 17 total turnovers.
Pretty close.
10 of those are coming from your point guard.
Which one, Russ?
Mm-hmm.
Russ had 10? Okay.
Russ had 10. He had a quadruple double.
Okay. Well, most of his turnovers were errant passes. I'm not making excuses for him, but me and you had talked about this. When I see turnovers, especially from a point guard, I try to figure out why or where those turnovers are coming from. Those turnovers are coming from because he's really trying to make plays. Sometimes it's misreads from on the other end, of guys not knowing where they were at, or guys mishandling the pass or whatever. So it wasn't turnovers where he was getting ripped. It was legit turnovers because people were jumping in the passing lane and doing that, or misdirection.
But you're talking about a team who, if I go back to the Lakers game bench from yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. They're playing 1.
You said 5.
2, 3, 4. They're playing 4 all-stars. No. They're playing 4 former. They played a total of 4 players who were former all-stars. Mm-hmm. They know how to play ball, right? If I look over at OKC's box score from yesterday, they had 15 turnovers, and they're a young team. 17 turnovers in college ball is way too many. In the NBA game, 17 is way too many. It's actually quite amazing that they only lost by that much.
I mean, but you're also talking about, I believe Oklahoma averaged, if it's not Oklahoma, maybe it was the Celtics that had like 20 turnovers at first. We're averaging 20 turnovers a game. So, and I say that earlier in the season, there's usually going to be a high level of turnovers in every sport, because, it's been a while. You have to change the pace of the game. You're going to have to be able to adjust to that. I feel like Frank Vogel isn't doing a great job of adjusting to Russell Westbrook. These last 2 games, we've seen games without LeBron. Everybody wants to panic. I don't necessarily want to panic. I want LeBron off the ball.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens, because the Lakers' problem is, to me, Anthony Davis is out of shape.
Yes.
It's disgustingly out of shape.
He's out of shape to play that 4 position.
He's out of shape to play the 5.
Not necessarily. Not if he stays inside.
He still has to play defense. And if you're getting beat up the court, down the court, like Oklahoma does not have any slow guys on their team.
You're right.
And I've watched their bigs literally just beeline straight to the basket after the Lakers scored yesterday. So I say that because he needs to be in shape. There's no reason or no excuse. Like, we just talked James Harden. Like, I understand why James Harden is out of shape. He just barely got in the contact. What is Anthony Davis's excuse at this point?
No clue.
He looks slow to the standards in which, we held him to. The reason why he was so dynamic is because he moved like a guard. Right? That's what made him hard. That made him a tough cover, because he moved like a guard. He was athletic. I don't see that in him. I don't see that right now. Will we see that at any point? I'm not sure, but I haven't seen it since the Lakers won the finals.
I think these injuries are these former injuries that he's had. I think we're just seeing it carry over. I don't know. I've never been so impressed with Anthony Davis. Never been Anthony Davis true believer.
Mhm.
honestly. Um, I said this before. I'm gonna say it again. He should be playing the five position. He should be a center. He would look a lot better as a center because now if you're a center, you don't have to switch off on some of these guards. If you play the four spot, the power four spot in the NBA, you're switching 1 through 4. Like, and him being out of shape, it doesn't look good. At least if you play the center position, you can sag off, you can show, recover. I don't know. He doesn't look good.
and
And that's
that's
the woes of this team. Your second best player looks like
right.
a decent player right now.
And that's the thing that everybody's caught up. Everybody's going to be caught up on his stats. Oh, he's putting up these numbers. Yes, but what is he giving up on the other end? As a Laker fan, it hurts because to see it, because I'm like, even if he was halfway in shape, like he's not Shaq. Shaq could come in a season and not be in shape, but he was strong as heck and he was still skilled.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck trying to guard Shaq once he got down to the block. Anthony
Yeah.
Davis isn't, I'm not looking for Anthony Davis to be Shaq, but in order for Anthony, the best part of Anthony Davis's skill set came with his athleticism. It comes with his length. If he doesn't have that as an asset because he's out of shape, he now just
Mm-hmm.
becomes just a regular big that can shoot. Because at the end of the day, if we switch him with Karl Anthony Towns, what does it does the Lakers lose those games?
Mm-hmm.
No, because Karl Anthony Towns is able to go out and in. And he's nowhere near as athletic and mobile and agile as Anthony Davis. So,
Yeah.
if Anthony Davis, and I mentioned this before, if the Lakers were to win the championship, it has to be on the back of Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And
But
and
he's not athletic enough. So he's not in shape enough to be carrying this team.
no, but then again,
And with LeBron's age,
that's why
I
you
don't
have
know.
those guys like DeAndre Jordan and Dwight Howard. Like they're there to help cover slack. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not panicking yet. Now,
No, no,
if
not panicking yet.
they,
Midway through the season, yeah.
they got till January. If they're
Okay.
playing like this after January, then is panic needs to happen. Like I like, Melo's been playing really good in his role. Um, if we're talking about a Russ narrative after the end of next month, Frank Vogel might lose his job to Phil Handy. Or what's his face? He used to coach the Knicks, Fizdale,
So I'm
who's a
gonna
great
I
coach.
want to I want to see if I got this right. So with the Nets, we're not panicking. Thing is going to work out, right? Just with playing, it's going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
With Philly, there is slight panic there. Like if there's a panic meter with
Just a little
Philly,
bit,
it's
yeah.
actually starting to tick over, right? With LA, we're going to give them to January, which means the meter we're starting to jump.
Yeah,
We're starting to jump a little bit.
because out of all the teams that we mentioned, this is the only team that they're returning 3 guys,
Yeah.
and 2 of them started the season, and now only one of them is playing right now. So the benefit to just the one of them playing is that it gives the other guys around that are healthy that can play an opportunity to fill in and then fill in their void. I think this is a great time for Vogel to give the keys to Westbrook and figure out how to make LeBron work around that. LeBron is a Swiss Army knife. There's no way he needs to be ball dominant when he has a ball dominant guard on his team. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. Man, I think we covered it, bro.
I think we did. Well, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. You hit that thumbs up button, you hit the subscribe button, you leave a nice little comment. Matter of fact, then you go to the description, you see a little Twitters, you take one of those over, put that in your little browser, and leave a little message over there. Let us know how you liked it. Matter of fact, get back to us. KD fans, salute to y'all. Unfortunately, this might be one of those years. Philly fans, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Y'all got love, but y'all ain't got love in that locker room. So y'all need to get rid of your coach. Give Sam Cassell a chance. Lakers, we got 2 more months. We got 2 more months. Let's get through November. Let's get through December. That injury with that high ankle sprain with LeBron, I see them nursing it for another couple of weeks. They don't need to rush him back. You know, it's similar to the injury he got against the Hawks, Solomon Hill. But until next time, you know, check back at some of our previous shows. I know we talked about Jalen Green. We talked about Josh Giddey. We talked about the snubs and how they were all connected to the Magic. Some of the major snubs. Yeah, we did Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, T-Mac, Dwight Howard. I think they got a starting 5 of snubs.
Yeah, we do. It's all right, man. When you're a Magic fan, you get used to it.
It's crazy. You're only Magic guys that were Magic players that made it was Dominique Wilkins and Shaq.
That's all right. Nothing new here.
It's all good. And 75 years still got more than Timberwolves. Not the Heat though. Hey, so with that being said, till next time, continue to walk in your greatness.
Peace.